Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stamping Up demonstrator, based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. It's been a big day. So tonight I'm going to be showing you basically how to make these cards. Same fold, different cards. One I just whisked up, hence why I'm a couple minutes late, a couple of seconds ago. If you can see and hear me, leave a comment and let me know so I know that there are no technical issues. As always, every time I start this software package to do a live, they've changed it. And so I had to fiddle a little bit to get it to work again. Hi, where am I? I'm here. Hi everybody. It's been a huge, huge, huge day. So much happening. And I've got my charity day on this Saturday and Sunday. So I've got lots of people coming, but I've still got a couple of vacancies if anyone can make it. I start the cutout seriously tomorrow, but I would love some more to come along because every card that we make is going to go to seniors on Meals on Wheels. So it is such a good cause. And every time I do this event, all I can think of is the joy when these cards are actually opened. Oh, let's get going. Oh, before I do, just whilst I wait for a few people to get here. Sorry, I walked away. Yep. We're on with 2 days to go on this amazing. Wait a minute, I'll just throw you back down to the desk. Honey, I'm not going to throw. I'll gently put you down on the desk. Honey, so this amazing offer. There's only 2 days to go. You can for only $60. Now, there is no hidden cost. There is nothing else you have to pay. You can choose $235 worth of products, or there's a second amazing offer for $169. You can choose $344. Now, there are no tricks. I know it's Halloween coming up, where it's tricks or treats. This is a treat. This is the best offer I have seen Stamping Up ever have in the 13 years. Now, I did forget yesterday when I was put back up to me. I did forget yesterday was my 13th anniversary. So I it's a busy week. So I'm celebrating that, and I'm going to have a special offer in the next couple of days that I will share with you to thank you for all your support for me. Now let's get started. So I'm not going to make 3 cards, but I do want to show you these, and I'll throw you down onto the desk again. Oh, before I do, this is the pre-cut and prep plan. So let me know if you are going to follow me along. Now, on the first card I'm going to do, you don't have the cutout because I changed my mind and added this one so you could see what a basic card would be. But this is the one I have provided. Wait a minute, I'm going to take that away and let's come back down to my desk. This is the one I have provided the cutout, and this is an alternative. So let's get started. Now, a joy fold card is probably, I'm going to guess, the oldest fancy fold card that I know of. Now, it doesn't mean there wasn't some before, but when I started Stamping Up 13 years ago, this was a really, really popular card, and we all thought it was very flash. I mean, now you look at some of the fancy folds that exist, and they are super flash, but this is easy, and it's a great way of using up your stash, and you can fiddle with it to make it your own. And that's what I've done on each of these. And in some cases, I've actually used up pieces of paper that I probably wouldn't have used, and probably did a combination of patterns that I wouldn't normally use. Now, so a Joyfold card opens, so it has like a second card inside, And so one side opens up and then it's got this other card. So this piece basically holds it together. Now, so that's a basic Joyful card. Now, the one that I'm featuring tonight is this one. I will show you how to do the basic one, because these are such good cards to use up your Christmas paper, and they are a little flash, even though it's what I would call a basic card and pretty simple. This is a little stepped up. So this one I've cut on the diagonal. So I'm going to pop that up, and I've kept a theme all the way through just to keep it simple for you. So that's another one. Now, when you look at this one I've done in landscape, but this one is a portrait one. So it's really simple. It's exactly the same, but instead of having it like that, I've just spun it around, made it portrait, and then made this little, what I call the smaller fold card, in a portrait shape as well. And I'm using, where's my, know how hard this is. Even with a really, really tidy desk, it is still impossible to find what I'm looking for. Gotta be honest, it really is impossible. So I'm using, I'll show you which suite I'm using. Of course, it's gorgeous. It's the Peaceful Garden Suite Collection. So I'm using a lot of this paper, and I've hardly got any of this paper left. Gotta be honest, I've just about used up the entire 2 packs. That tells you how easy and gorgeous this paper actually is to use. I'm also going to be using these little embellishments. I'm hoping you can see. I'll probably add a few more as I go through. It comes with this stamp set. Where is it? This stamp set here. And it also comes with these dies, and I'll show you those as I use it. Now, I've done the cutout because 3 cards is a fairly tall order. So let's get started. Now, I'll just show you this one. This is one I don't intend to walk through, but I've actually used the die cuts that are an additional purchase, mainly for scrapbooking, but this turned out pretty nice. Now, I did it a little different. I just squished this together, to be honest. I started at 6:45 to make this card. So you can see it's nothing difficult, but I'm not going to show you how to make that because it's so similar to this one. All right. I just used I used designer series paper on this layer here. Don't forget you do have that pre-cut. Now, I'm not seeing any comments at all. Oh, there's some comments. Hi, Glenda. How are you? Hi, Myrtle. Hi, Leo. Let me know where you're watching from. As I said, I use a software package, StreamYard. Every time they change this, and it's a little annoying because it's not like they let you know. It's kind of when you book on, there's the surprise. Now, let's do this one. I think this is the, I know, this is the Easy Joyful card. So even though I didn't include this in the pre-cut, I have added all the measurements on. So this is the card base. I've used Secret C. It's 8 1/4 by 4 1/4. And it's scored at 5 1/2. So let's, as I said, you can come along with me on this one, but it's not the one that you've done the prep for. So get the cutter out of the way, just score at 5 1/2. And that leaves that short part. That is this bit here. So let's fold this over, grab a bone folder. Who's ever thought of being a demonstrator? And if you are a demonstrator, let me know what you think. I'm hoping I've got the right right piece here. I'm hoping. Nope, I got the wrong card. This is what happens when you're super prepared. I've just pulled out the wrong box. Rightio. Oh. Now I'm very nervous. Because I swap these around. I don't know. That's that one. It is this one. This is what happens. I don't know. So the inside panel. I'm not going in the same order, but let's find some pieces here that will help us out. So I've got this piece. Now I'm going to add this. Oh, I think I'm one sheet short. It goes there. Oh, no, I'm not. Here we are. I don't. So this piece is 2.5 by 4 inches. So it's the front of the main card base. Let's grab some adhesive. Oh, lost my adhesive. Oh, here it is. Let's get going. So that's step one. So that was that piece there. Okay. Then this piece is going on the inside. Now remember, this is the plain Joyful card. So it's 5.25 by 4 inches. So it doesn't take me long to do this. So I've done all the work. You just see how simple this is. Now in this pack, some of the cardstock is one way. So you just have to be a little careful. I know. Now this is the small fold card. It's 3 inches by 8.25. Now, all the other 2 cards I did at 3 and an 8, and it just made it a bit easier to fit. Now, so this opens out this way, this sits down like that. So you don't want it to sit like this, or otherwise it's not going to work. You're going to actually have this opening this side. So let's put that down like that. You know, I always do things in a different order when I'm doing things live. Now I'm just placing this right in the center. So same border all the way around. Now that's going to sit like that. So this is my piece that sits on here. It's 3 7/8 by 2 3/4. So it's the front of that small folded panel. Just make sure it's going up the right way, because it is one of those one-way patterns. Let's yeah. So that's going to sit like that. This is my card. So on the inside, I'm just going to stamp the same that I've put on all these cards. So everybody is going to get sent this year from me a lot of joy, love, and peace. Mainly because I love that saying. And it comes from the stamp set that goes with all this paper. Anyway, so I'm stamping the sentiment on this side, not this side. So it looks like a standard card. One of the things I like about this card is you don't have a lot of white space so you feel obliged to write a long and extensive letter. You can just write, "Dear Jan, thank you very much. Merry Christmas." Now I've got a little dove, because we're talking about peace, love, and joy. This is one of the die cuts, or one of the dies in the Peace on Earth set. Now it comes from the mini catalogue. It's got 2 doves. Love them. Love, love, love them. It's also got these little tags, which I've used the small one on each card, I think, on 2 of the 3 cards. Also comes with these leaves, which I use a fair bit just to put something flash under a sentiment or whatever. Didn't use them tonight. And it comes with these little envelopes. Love that are so small, they're perfect for the dove to carry. I know, so let's stick the dove down. And we'll go there. That will then slide back over. I just have to decorate this front piece. Now I've kept it fairly simple. I'm using the same, I've got a few of these pieces of paper I need to get rid of. So I just die cut the In Secret C using the die from the set. I don't normally do it like this, but I haven't got everything cut out. So this card, you can see the original, I've got a white circle, and I just used the 2.5-inch punch, which is, I'm pretty sure, still current. Love punches for Christmas time because they're so much quicker and easier. And then I use the 2.25 for some of the designer series paper. So I've already die cut this out. Right, so let's put this on. And on all these cards, and I've fallen in love with the ephemera pack. Now, I wouldn't, if I had a light color stamp, light color cardstock and I was stamping on it, I'd just certainly use one of our stamps. But to get something nice on here, I'd have to put it on a dark background to make it pop, and probably heat emboss. I don't have time to do that at Christmas. Well, I pretend I don't have enough time to do that at Christmas. So I'm going to use a sentiment out of the, it's called The Greetings for You. So it comes in gold. Now the black and white one, which I can't think of the name of, also has, I'm going to pop this up. On the others, I popped up the sentiment. On this one, I will pop up here. And grab some my scissors, which are hiding on my desk somewhere. Because everything does hide on my desk. I know. Let's grab another pair. This is why you have 3 pairs on your desk for any live. So I don't let anything go to waste, even these edge pieces. So that should be enough. Now, where's my take a pick tool? Makes it easy to pick these backs off. Okay. And we're going to put that, just center it. Oh. Then let's pick one of these. There's so many. How does it actually tell? No, it just says 6 pages of them. So, I don't know which one. 'Tis the season, season's greetings. Like a little skinny one to give it that nice shape. Let's see what I can find. I think that looks okay, actually. Now, these are actually stickers, but I don't want to take off the ends. I only want to take off that center one. Let's put it up about there. Rightio. So how easy was that card? And it's got that interest. So if someone receives that card, they're going to be pretty impressed with it. Should I add some of these? You can say you've got to add a little bit of something, a little bit of bling every time. Now, this is the coordinating embellishments. And I don't know whether you can see, but they're gorgeous. And I love the colours and they match the colour here perfectly. Let's use some of the dark ones. I haven't used any of those, and it's probably, I'm not going to use a lot of them. Just a little bit up the top in this corner here. So there's a little bit more interest. Oh. How cute is that? And super, super quick. I'll put these back over here. So card number 1 looks a little different than the first one, but you can see the similarity. Now, what I could do, which I'm going to do, is I see that sentiment is just going to bend back a bit. I don't want that, but I need it to be popped up on these ends. So let's put a mini dimensional underneath. I'll take the backing off that in a second. Let's put these both on. This is where that take a pick tool is so useful. Let's gently take that backing off. No, that looks better. You can see the difference from one side to the other. Sometimes you just got to keep going until something works. I know. Wasn't as gentle on this side. Oh no, there we go. Still looks good. So I love those cards. Now let's get on to this one. This is done a little different and you need a few tips and tricks. So if you've done the cutout, this is what you'll need. Now, this card base is what I call a standard card base. It's 5.5 inches by 8.25. All right. Now, you see, I've also cut a piece of designer series paper. It's 5.5 inches by 4 1/8, which is half the 8.25, even though it might be upside down. Now, what I want to do is cut from that corner to that corner, and I discard this. Now I won't really discard it. I will use it for something else. But my trimmer makes this pretty simple. And so all I'm going to do is use the track as my guide. So this corner here sits on the track and this corner sits on the track. Now, I never, ever start, I'm hoping you can see that, down onto a point because it may actually push the point up. So I always start in the middle of my project and then go from edge to edge. See how easy that was? Left with that. Now, I actually worked this out and made sure that this is the piece, and I actually marked it. I'm not sure you can see that with pencil. Yes, you can. So that I didn't make a mistake once I went live. Now, the next thing, because you get one that is when you cut this piece, and there's no other way to do it, but you would just plan another project that uses the bottom of this. you also want to do the same from there to there, and you're keeping the top piece. Now, so I'm cutting from the right top to the left bottom. Now, I probably describe it slightly different and I'll double check that and you'll see why, right top to left bottom, in my description, because I worked on the inside of the card. I think it's easier to work on the outside now. I know. So this piece will go for another card. I know. So I'm just going to... Now, remember, this is a one-way pattern. So I had to make sure that I cut that original piece out correctly. If not, you would turn it over. I got no glue. Oh, yes, I got a little bit of glue left. And when you've got these points, you need to go right down to the points. Otherwise, they pop up a bit. But you don't want too much glue. I always put one little bit in the middle. I'm not sure why. I know. So how gorgeous is this dub paper? And I'm just lining it up. Now, I always use my bone folder to make sure that glue's all spread out, especially to the edges. I know. So that's the bit that I've just done now. So let's grab a piece I don't have cut. Oh, yes, I do. So I've actually kept with the secret C. That's that piece. Then I have... So this is going to sit like that. Before I do that, I'm going to add this because this makes a little bit of sense. You can see I've embossed this, I'm hoping, and I've embossed it with, this is a sneak peek, one of the new embossing folders. Now, even though it doesn't call itself a 3D embossing folder, it is a 3D embossing folder. So don't add any extra plates other than the embossing plate, which is, where is it? It's this one here, which is this one here. All right, just use it only and the platform. I know, this is gorgeous, and I'm hoping you can see how gorgeous that is. And let's stick this in here because it's pretty easy, this. All these cards are easy, and I'm trying to keep to, how do I describe it? Fancy cards that are easy. Because I've got to say, when you're making a lot of cards, and I see Pat is watching, and she has just made 150 cards for aged care facility. So thank you, Pat. How special is that? Except at that stage, I looked away. I know. So this sits right in the center. And I always check it because I can't help myself. I want to make sure that it works. So let's put it where it needs to go. Now remember, this is sitting this way. So this opens up, but this sits like that. So it's not like this, which is what you'd expect. Let's stick it down before I make a mistake. I think you can safely say I'm nearly running out of glue here. Oh, what I was going to say is if you were doing this one here, that's how you'd put this in, right? You'd put it long ways. Of course, I'm doing the landscape version. We're putting it in like this. So I'll place it right in the center. Of course, this is embossed. Again, I will get... Now, I embossed a second piece. Now, this piece, if I look at my instructions, this piece is, so I have two panels, one on the inside to stamp, one on the outside, which is embossed. And both of those pieces are 3 7/8 inches by 2 7/8. So let's stick this down. Don't you like how I have faith? I know. Now I've started that conversation. Wait a minute, I'll stick this one down. It's one less piece I have on my desk. Straighten up a bit. Now I've got a bit much glue over here. I'm not sure whether you can see that, but you don't want it squishing out, so I just feed it back into the center a little bit. That way I don't have any messes. Well, the theory is I don't have any messes. Okay. Now, so this is on the inside. Let's have a look at what the inside of this card looks like. Very plain. I've just got the Peace and Joy. This stamp, which comes from this stamp set, which I think has some of the best sentiments. Big hugs for a good friend. Love that. Peace on earth. It's got the deepest sympathy. It's got wishing or sending you. So I'm using wishing. I'm using Secret Sea ink. Kept to the same colour palette all the way through just to keep it a bit simple. But you could fiddle around. Quite easy. Now, I always line it up on my grid paper. And now I try not to put ink all over it like I just did. This is why... So I just obviously dropped it in the ink pad. Now I'll clean that up so I have less of a chance. So you can see I have ink all over that. So let's just have less of a chance of making a mess. And that's from putting it on a very big block. That's how that happens. And let's not rock it this time. Oh, I still did, but anyway. I'll just go straight down, straight up. Huh. Okay, so where's my wishing you? Put it over here. I'm going to clean this up before I have a disaster on my desk. I'm just using baby wipes, which I do use, but I never ever leave the residue from a baby wipe on the stamp set. It's not good for your stamp sets. Oh yeah, so this is going to sit here. That's looking as crooked as a dog's hind leg. I need to redo that. I know, so we're going to have to be strategic here. And we're going to put it... Oh, sorry. Over there so you don't see it. Quicker you go, sometimes the better it is. Then we'll stamp there. Got better. I don't. Attach this on the inside. Who else turns their paper over? Anyone? Here we go. I know, so that's where we're at the moment. So now all I have to do is decorate the front of it. Now I'm looking... Oh, there it is. Let's get rid of that. So I have... This is how it looks on the original. I've changed up the designer series paper, but I like that dark version. So let's stick this down. This is the tag from the bundle. So I'm only using one sweet tonight, but this card is perfect for anything in your... Absolutely anything in your stash. So these are my... Here we go. I've just picked up that paper there. Now I kept this on the Secret Sea, but I could actually have punched that out in basic white as well. Let's see how this goes. You can see these are such easy cards, and they're cards you can, if you want to make a few of, you can cut out in bulk. In other words, you'd cut all the card bases, then you'd cut the next layer. And if it was me, this piece, I'd have a design for it already in my head. So how nice is that? I love that. They're so cute, these. Let's see what I've got here. Not sure how many of these. Oh, here's some more that I've cut. Oops. Let's do what I would normally do. I know, that's better. I know. I only ever put normally 3 dimensions on. Now, next week, there is no Facebook Live. I'm heading over to an event, a Stamping Up event in Las Vegas, and I will be doing a Facebook Live on the Friday before I go with Christine, but I am a little short of time. So there will be a live, and next Friday we're going to be showcasing our favourite. Sorry, I'm just losing. A minute. Sorry, I'm just losing where I am. Righto. So there we go. That's this card. You can see how easy it was. Let's grab another. I just want a little sentiment this time. I don't think Marion Bright is going to work, but let's give it a go. No, it doesn't work. There's so many sentiments here. Happy Christmas, Marion Bright, joy. Happy Christmas. Let's do this. I think that one's nice. That one works. I picked the shapes to fit the card. Now, because I've already popped this up, I don't want to pop it up anymore. These come stickers. The other ephemera pack that we have is not a sticker, but the gold one is. I'm not popping this up because I don't want it to have problems at Australia Post. And if I was sending it overseas, I certainly know it won't make overseas post. So how good are these cards? Let's clean up a little bit. Now, Pat liked this one. Where are we? Like this card, but loves this card. Now, to keep this closed, make sure you score that score line really well. But the score line that holds this together is this one. So let's just reinforce that fold a little bit. Now, if you don't want to ruin your embossing pattern, you can do it from there. Rightio. So you can see, you can just use what you've got, have a play with it. And as I said, that card, I could easily, all I've done was do exactly the same, but I put the card in portrait. So now let's just take that away. So this was the plain Joyful card. This was the vertical diagonal Joyful card, and this is the landscape one. So card 1, card 2, card 3, leave a message. Which one is your favourite? I mean, they're all using a similar colour palette. So it really is the design, and it's the same design. And I did this last week. I can't remember what I did, but the same card design can be used in so many different ways, just with a little chisel, and it'll work really well. So just trying to see if anyone wants to nominate which card. Rightio. I haven't seen anybody let me know, so let me know which ones you like. And if you're watching this on replay, don't forget to leave a comment. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel or you haven't subscribed to my Facebook page, please do. Now, don't forget, that Facebook are deleting all our videos, that's everybody's videos, or lives at 30 days. So if you really want to keep them, and there's like this tutorial, if you want to keep it, watch it on YouTube, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out. And don't forget, there's only 2 days to go until the best offer ever for some crafting goodies expires. So it finishes on Halloween. So let's make it a treat because you don't want to miss out. Now, I've got to, sorry, I know, I keep doing this every week, don't I? Should I add some? I think I need to add some of these. I like all of them. I think I like what I would call cloud cover, which is like a light grey blue. Let's just put, maybe I don't need them. No, I don't. I think when you're struggling to find something to go on, you know it's not working. Rightio. So Myrtle Lakes number 3. Rightio. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. And that was, 3 cards, pretty quick. Didn't take us long. You've got the cutout guide, you've got the measurements online, but I will also have a special offer on this, on a tutorial for these as well. So thanks everybody. Really appreciate you joining me tonight, and have a fabulous week. Bye for now.